Hi everybody, this is Nathan with Rain Networks. Thanks for joining us today. We're doing a video series on the VIPRE Endpoint Security software, and specifically, we're going to be talking about the Management Console and some of the things that you can do with the Management Console to manage your VIPRE Endpoint Security software. The idea being that with the Management Console, we can see all the machines on our network, we can change settings on them, we can push out software to them, we can do a whole variety of different tasks to manage the VIPRE software across our network just from our management server. It's a great way to save time and just make managing all of your endpoint security software a lot easier. So let's dig in and start looking at a few of the things we can do to make the management of our VIPRE endpoint security software easier. Okay, so step one that I always like to show people with the VIPRE Endpoint Security Management Console is, and it seems almost an obvious step, but I get a lot of questions about, hey, what do I do with my license? That seems to be a common question that we get. So let me show you, now that you've got the Management Console loaded, what do you do with your license? So what you want to do is we're going to go into the Site Properties box, which is up here in the upper left. Okay, and I'm actually going to go through a few of these screens because I think there's a few important, nice little setup things to do here that can kind of get you set up with your management console the best. So first of all, as you can see, when you open site properties, the first section is registration, and this is where you're going to put the license key that was given to you by your Rain Networks account manager. Usually comes in like a PDF document. You can copy and paste the license key right in here, click update, and as you can see, it'll show you your license status right down here. So quick and easy, that's how you get your license integrated into your console. All right, the next section we're going to touch on is the unprotected computer discovery. This is actually really important. It's a really cool feature. What this is going to do is it's going to take the VIPRE Management Console is going to go scour your network for computers and bring them into the Management Console, which I'll show you in a later video where those end up. But it'll give you a whole list of your computers, basically scan your network for all the machines in your network so that you can then push the software out to the computers if you'd like. All right. Two sections down, kind of as a follow-up to this, is the agent installation section. So this is actually a really important thing. So these are the credentials that you're going to use to push out the agents to the computers on your network. This is particularly important if you have a domain network, you have a universal set of credentials that you want to have VIPRE use to execute the installations on your computer. This is where you can put them. And you can actually put multiple here. We were just talking to a guy the other day. He had multiple Active Directory domains in his network, so he could put multiple credentials, and then later on when he's doing the software push, you can pick which one of those credentials to use. So obviously use the add, edit, or remove buttons over here to get all the credentials in here that you want to execute your remote installs. Okay. Auto policy assignment. This is kind of cool. So we're going to talk about policies later on, but this is how you can basically tell VIPRE the default policies that you want to assign to your computers in VIPRE. For example, I have a policy in here called Nathan's Personal Policy, which I created, and I could say that, hey, this is the policy that I want assigned to all of my computers as I add VIPRE into those computers. So auto policy assignment is pretty cool. Email server settings. This is where VIPRE can send you email alerts of various things. If you have a virus outbreak or whatnot, VIPRE can send you an email to let you know the stuff is going on. It'll let you know things like license expiration, when you're oversubscribed with your license, those kinds of things as well. So obviously you'll come in here, put in your SMTP server info, and away you go. And then kind of the last thing I like to go through here is firewall templates. Again, this is a little bit related to like the auto policy assignment that I showed you a second ago. And like I said, I'll be doing a whole video on policies and the firewall rules and that kind of thing. But this is just kind of some base settings. So this is, if you have some base firewall rules that you want to assign to your computers, this is where you can kind of create templates to kind of automate the process of applying firewall rules to your computers. Here's one that I made. I'll go ahead and click the edit button down here so you can kind of see what this looks like. So here's the firewall template. You can see that I've got a rule in here to block a program called FileZilla that I did as a test. I've also got some rules in here. One is to allow telnet, port 23 telnet traffic, and then also port 3389 RDP traffic, just because those are two ports that I commonly use. And so I came in here and made a template rule along those lines. So you might have things like that that are common along your network that maybe you use quite often. All you have to do to make, like say a rule on this page would be to click the add button. We'll get a new entry here. We can then select, you can add a port down here. They have a whole list of kind of pre-selected ports that you can choose from. You can also type in, like I did, I just typed in port whatever 23 for telnet, but you can choose from their preset ports. Like if you wanted to, allow PPTP, there's port 1723. So anyways, pretty easy to just add ports in here if you like, and this is how you make a firewall template. So pretty cool feature there. Everybody has kind of typical firewall rules that they want on their network, and this is a way you can make a template so that all your machines get this information. So as you can see, there's some other screens here in site properties. I'm not going to go through them all just because I just kind of wanted to hit the key ones. Most important is the license key piece, since we get so many questions along those lines. Where do I put my license key? Now you know where that is. And feel free to browse through some of the other sections, but I think I kind of hit the kind of key highlighted ones that are used most often. So thanks for joining us on this first video in our multi-part series. Check back later. We're going to have a video on how to manipulate policies. We're going to have a video on how to push out your software. We're going to go through some of the reporting features and whatnot. So some cool things down the road. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you on the next video.